So we're doing exercise 10A, and in this video we're going to go through question 3, which reads, the menu in a restaurant lists 4 choices of entree, 8 of main course, and 4 of dessert. Find the number of choices of meal possible. For A, if one of each of the 3 courses must be chosen. So this is where we're going to utilize our multiplication rule. And the reason why we know we're using the multiplication rule is because we can have different sequences of meals. We could have a number of different sequences of entrees, main courses, and desserts. So as soon as you see a sequence, you know you're going to be dealing with the multiplication rule. If these were smaller numbers, I could actually draw for you a tree diagram. But obviously the numbers here are so big that it just wouldn't be possible. Well, it would be possible, it would just be very hard for me. That's all to say, when sequential choices are involved, the total number of possibilities is found by multiplying the number of options at each successive stage. So what we're going to do is go, all right, if one of each of the 3 courses must be chosen, I have 4, I have 8, and I have 4 desserts. So that's going to be 4 times 8 times 4. So what I've done is I'm multiplying the number of each option at each successive stage. Now all I have to do is 4 times 4 is 16, 16 times 8 is 128. To get my highlighter, that is the answer to the first one. There are 128 choices of meals possible if one of each of the 3 meals must be chosen. 128. Let's now move on to B, which says if you can choose to omit the entree. Alright, so the conditions have changed a little bit, and I can imagine what the mistake here is going to be that many people are going to do. They're going to say, well, that's 8 times 4, because now I'm no longer including my entree. It's just a main meal and a dessert, and 8 times 4, that's 32. Then you look at the back of the book, and the answer is not 32, and then you feel bad about yourself. But you shouldn't, because you've just made a mistake in reading the question. So let's read it again carefully. If you can choose to omit the entree. So here I'd say the main word is if you can choose, which means you don't necessarily have to omit it. The mistake that we just made before is if someone said you have to omit the entree. But notice that's not the case. It's saying if you can choose to omit it, which really means now if we were to come up to our question, instead of having 4 choices for the entree, that's like we have now 5 choices because we've added a choice of not having the entree at all. So what we're going to do now is add 1 to this 4 here. So it's going to be 5 times 8 times 4. Then you can go 5 times 4 is 20 times 8 will be 160. So there's going to be 160 number of choices of meal possible if you've added the possibility of omitting the entree, because now we have 5 choices for the entree. Hopefully that made sense and addressed any concerns you had with this question. Good luck with the rest.